I'm Jessica Kringle. Of course, most of you know me as Mrs. Claus, and we have been counting down the days of December by doing a different sweet and treat recipe in Cooking with Claus every single day this month of December. Today is December 19th, so let's go to our Advent calendar and find out what treat we get to make today. We are so close to Christmas, and Santa is so busy. It's just work, work, work for him, so I'm okay working in here. All right, so the 19th, chocolate cherry cookies. These are kind of a 3-step process to get these done, but they're not that difficult to make, and they're so yummy to eat. So can't wait to get these started and finished so we can taste them. Now, if you'd like to follow along, you can go to www.crafterscountdown.com and get a printable PDF that looks just like this little recipe card so that you can get the entire recipe. All right, give me a moment to, you know the drill, wash my hands and get the ingredients out. I will be right back with you. All right, I have washed my hands once again and gotten out our ingredients. And the first thing, oh dear. Uh-oh, I have a little problem here. Andrew has put himself in my bowl. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not allowed to touch him. I'm going to have to use a little bit of Christmas magic. Andrew, you little imp, what are you doing?
I wanted to make these treats because they're my favorite treats of the year.
All right, I will let you help me. I'm actually glad you're here because this is a 3-step process, so it would be nice to have an extra pair of hands. Speaking of hands, what does he need to do? He needs to go give those hands a wash, huh? So go ahead and take your gloves off, hop down, and go wash your hands at the sink, and I will continue getting the ingredients together. All right, we have our sugar in the bowl. Now that we have Andrew out of the bowl, we need to go ahead and we just need an egg yolk. Now, if you remember the other day, we made some divinity, and I made some custard out of them just for Santa and somebody else to share. But this would be a great recipe to do alongside the divinity because this one you just use the egg yolk, and the other one we just use the egg whites. So you want to crack the egg into the little bowl. You can put the shells in here. So where do the shells go?
In the compost.
Good job. All right, go ahead. Crack that into here. Right. Why don't you go ahead and set that in the compost and you can wash off your little fingers. And then we will use this separator to separate the yolk from the whites. And then we pour the egg yolk into our mix. And we're also going to add our butter. So you open this one and put it in there, and I will open this one. We have used a ton of butter this season, haven't we?
Yeah.
Right, and then also our vanilla goes in here.
Sometimes it's surprising how much butter you use.
And it makes the recipes oh so yummy. Now we're going to beat this in our mixer until it's fluffy. As always, you can use your fancy mixer, you can use your muscles or an electric beater, either way. Good thing you didn't appear in this bowl when I had the mixer on, huh?
Yeah. That'd be horrible.
We've beat that until it's nice and fluffy, and now we're adding some cocoa and our flour.
Very powdery.
Yes, well that's why we always turn the mixer on low speed and slowly let it work its way up so that it doesn't poof everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and stir this in just a little bit so that it doesn't poof. we've got this well mixed, and now we get to form this into 1-inch balls to make our little cookies. Oh, and we need to preheat the oven to 375 degrees. Do you know how to do that? No? Oh, let me teach you. You push bake on the oven. Go ahead. And then the temperature, push the up arrow because it starts at 350 until it says 375. All right, and then start. Good job. Right, and then we're going to form this into 1-inch balls. You know how big in inches? Yeah? Right. So we'll dig on in. Just roll them in your hands like this. And then we place these about 1 inch apart. They don't spread like some of our other cookies, but they will just a little bit. Good job. All right, give us just a moment to finish this up and we'll be right back with you. All right, we made our 1-inch balls and put them 1 inch apart, and now we need to just take and press our finger in the top of each one just to make a little indentation. Got in sync there, didn't we? And then these go into the oven for 7 to 9 minutes, and then we have some other things to do while these are cooking. So let me get these set in the oven.
But remember, you have to wash your hands because they have eggs on them.
That's right. We have drained maraschino cherries and then put them on paper towels to make sure that they're super dry. You want the kinds with the stems on them still because they're so pretty. And then we've made a double boiler before where we've taken water and put it inside of a pan. And then we have our chocolate pieces, our semi-sweet chocolate morsels, and you place that here so that it's in the hot water. We're going to put that on the stove, but first we're going to add to it the oil in the recipe, and that makes just a little bit more pourable for us. So let me get this on the stove. This is heavy and a little bit warm. We also need to make the little filling that goes on top of our cookies when they're done so that the cherry will stick in them. So we've placed our confectioner's sugar into here, and we're going to add butter. Go ahead and put that one in there. And then you can either use brandy or a brandy extract to give it flavoring. It's personal preference. It's room temperature, but it's stuck a little bit, huh? And I'm going to go ahead and mix this one by hand. All right, we've got this all mixed and smooth. We just have to wait for our cookies to finish in the oven and get them on the baking rack. So I will go ahead and get the baking rack out. We'll be right back with you.
And then me and the reindeer were trying to get away from the creepy candy cane monster.
Oh my goodness. Did you make it?
Yeah,
Wow.
barely.
Obviously. Oh, our cookies are ready. All right, give me just a second. This is very hot, so be careful.
Those are really good.
They smell delicious, don't they? Now these need to be removed immediately onto a cooling rack. Now with chocolate cookies and dark things that you've put cocoa powder in, it's a little bit difficult to tell exactly when they're done by looking at them because they're already dark. So you don't want these to be browning any. Ooh, this is warm. Oh, those smell so good. I can't wait to eat them.
Remember, you have to wait till they cool down to put the cherries in them.
These are all cooled off, and so now we get to take the cream that we made. We're going to take approximately half a teaspoonful. Make a big mess. And put that on there. And then press 1 cherry into there. And we're going to keep doing this until they are all done. And our last step is to take the chocolates that we mixed with a little bit of oil And we're going to drizzle this over the top of these. If you find that your chocolate is just a little bit glumpy and not really drizzling very well, you've got a couple of options. One of those would be to add just a little bit more oil so that it's more runny or drizzly. Another option is to use either a pastry bag, or you can use one of these little zipper bags that zip on top. And what you do is you very carefully cut just a little bit off the corner there. And then when you squeeze, you end up with a pretty little drizzle. And that will help you decorate your cookies beautifully, and they won't be as glumpy as they were when I was making them before. Right. Those are beautiful. They look much prettier on a nice serving tray. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for helping me. This has been a lot of fun working with you, Andrew. I hope that you'll come back and find us tomorrow and see what we make. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.